Today we're asking a question that has haunted Rocket League players across the world for generations. If I could travel back to 2016, could I have won RLCS Season 1? Like, am I better today than those pros were 2 years ago? Now, if you've ever watched old Rocket League tournaments, you've probably wondered this yourself, or you've at least noticed just how much worse the gameplay was at that time. And you really can't downplay this. Like, people will probably disagree with me and what I'm gonna say in this video, but you can't downplay just how far Rocket League has come in the last 2 years. Now, for some people, it's hard to imagine being able to ever beat someone like, say, Kronovi. People automatically want to argue that a player like me could never have beaten, IBP or Flipside. So let's take a step back just to sort of accommodate ourselves with the reality that many of us today, in fact, most of us today, are better than Kronovi was, at least at one particular point in his career. Take this video where the two best 1v1 players at the time face off, and this was shortly after Rocket League came out. So this was about a year before RLCS, back in the middle of 2015. Now, come on, you have to admit, most of us are better than this. This isn't what it looks like when a lot of us play Rocket League. Now, a lot did happen from mid-2015 when Rocket League came out to mid-2016 when RLCS started. Now, I was going to get all scientific and look at every element of my game versus these players back in Season 1. If you are interested in a video like that, check out Sunless Khan's series called Then versus Now, because that's kind of what he does. He goes into how the game has changed from the beginning stages to now, and it's super interesting. Anyways, I'm just going to make my case for why I think that I'm better than every professional Rocket League player in the fall of 2016, and why I truly believe that if me and two other Champ 3s could time travel back to this time and start a team, that we would be able to beat anybody in the world at this time. Now, I know that sounds bold and maybe even a bit arrogant, but let me make my case, and also let me say this. I really think it's just Season 1. Like, if I went to Season 2, I'm pretty sure that I could not play with those players, or it would be a lot closer, but I don't think I could win RLCS in Season 2. I'm just convinced I could in Season 1, because so much happened from Season 1 to Season 2, and then Season 3 and onwards. And I'll kind of talk about this a little bit later. Now, first, if you look at the best 1v1 players at this time, that is Scrubkilla, you can really get a sense for where players' mechanics and game sense was, and I did this by just looking at old Johnny Boy videos. Now, I don't know if it just feels like I could beat him, but I'm pretty sure I could have beat him at this time. That is, again, me now, him then. Obviously, I can't now. We've already seen that I can't play with any of these pros at this point. But there was just a level of game sense, just being able to understand where your opponent is and what he's doing and predict it, that they hadn't reached yet in 2016. That's now commonplace for basically everybody above Champ, at least. If you watch a show match from mid to late 2016 on Johnny Boy's stream and compare it to, anyone's game, Champ and above, it's like there's no comparison in my opinion. Now, let's look at some footage from the first RLCS, and the biggest difference I see between high-level play from that time and now is really just defense. Look at this clip here. First, this ball wouldn't have been whiffed twice in a row by both players. And again, this is the team that won RLCS. Anyways, like, that would not happen. Probably Champ 1 and above now. But not only that, once the ball goes flying out into the field, Luchino just sort of leaves it and sits in goal. Whereas now, any player Champ 1 and above would have went out and cleared that ball. Maybe he didn't have boost, I don't know. Offensive rotations were actually very fast at this time. Obviously nowhere near what they've come to today, but defensive rotations were still very undeveloped. All three players were not utilized right a lot of times. Let's just put it that way. A lot of times people would double commit, there was tons of double commits, and this just wasn't good. And it's honestly why I think in some ways Rocket League esports should have waited until players had developed more, because I don't know, it just wasn't as fun to watch. A lot of times on defense, players would give the offense so much space. At this time, players often were able to attempt solo plays. And this is why a lot of times people look so flashy, was because they were just given so much space. Whereas now, even at Diamond and Plat, threes consists of basically just a bunch of 50-50s over and over again, because defensive rotations are so much faster. You just have no space. Now, sadly, there's really no way we'll ever know completely. This is like comparing, for example, the Warriors to the Bulls. That is, the Bulls from, the 90s. Or Rocky Balboa to Mason Dixon, like they did in that one movie, right? Except it's a little different. It's like I'm comparing baby Kronovi to adult FLuuMP or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that you could beat the pros of 2016? Or maybe some of you could beat the pros of 2017? I don't know. And also, if there are any pros out there who played at this time, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace out.